So broadcasters not only face one challenge, they face multiple challenges, and unfortunately they interact with each other. So starting with one of the most well-known, most likely, it's that reach overall is decreasing mostly within Europe, really in more or less all countries. And what that means is that there's pressure on revenue, there's pressure on margins. And a lot of companies thought about then going into new areas that's somehow obvious, going into areas like video on demand or any kind of CTV, ATV offerings or CTV, ATV bundlings and stuff like that. But in order to do so, you have to invest. And investment means spending money in a time where you have shrinking revenues. So that puts a lot of pressure on the organization as such. And sadly to say is that they are not the only ones going into video on demand or stuff like that, and they don't compete with the players they know from the past. It's not their local competitors anymore, it's competing with global competitors, which most likely have better revenue position, they have global scale, they can scale content globally, they can scale their technology globally, and so you somehow have to change how your market is acting, you have to change your mechanics, and you get a new competition on top of that, and that doesn't make it easier for anyone. And you have to think about how can I keep my revenue engine running as good as possible over that time given. So how can I transform my organization, not only my products and stuff like that, how can I transform my organization while still serving with what is known as being good from the past and being able to deliver the new thing. And that's a huge challenge. That's an organizational challenge, that's a legal challenge, that's a change of business mechanics, that's new technology popping up. So it's a bunch of different challenges which result in a lot of pressure on TV houses especially. Let me start with trends by agencies and advertisers. For decades, and it's ongoing, they want publishers or TV houses to offer solutions that fit their need and that are as easily to consume as possible and give them the maximum power and the maximum flexibility. So, and that trend towards reducing complexity and reducing barriers between different channels, that's going on. That's really not a trend, that's a status quo. We have to become easier consumable. We have to become more usable between different TV houses and between different intermediaries. That's our order we have to fulfill in order to be used in 2 years' time. And so that's coming from the advertiser side. The next trend we see is that more or less every TV house tries to go towards video on demand, maybe BVOD, AVOD, SVOD, and they all try to integrate. And by saying so, we see the trend that we have to find new currencies because the panel data-driven currencies TV houses are used, they don't match CTV, for example. And not only that, we have to find a new currency, we have to find a way how there's a trend to figuring out how that transformation can happen from the existing, and yeah, it's a trusted model. Everyone accepts it with all its failures, but everyone accepts it. And the question is, how can we transform towards there? And there is a trend towards a CPM model, for example, in TV. But will it be at the end just one CPM model? We still don't know yet. So that's one other important trend. Then there's a trend towards VOD aggregation models, and generally speaking, we do see a trend towards more collaboration, and we really embrace that. So it's not only us with our collaboration in Germany, there is collaborations popping up in the UK, there's a collaboration being done in France in the TV area, there's a large cooperation in Austria. So what was unbelievable just 10 or 15 years ago has become some kind of common, that the TV houses or publishers start to collaborate rather than compete and try to form the market towards the better, because at the end we hopefully see a trend for keeping the media diversity up and running. So on the one hand side, we see the transformation in order to make linear and digital more look-alike, or linear becoming more digital. That's one thing we see. On the other hand side, we see tons of collaborations on tech level as well. And like I said, with Austria, with the teletest, it's unimaginable that all TV houses, in order to master that transition, go out and discuss and come back with one new model of how a currency may look like, and then it's really real time and can be consumed in real time on TV. So there is huge transformation going on, and they manage it mostly with collaboration. That's one thing. The second thing, as said, is already trying to figure out how we can model it that traditional linear TV fits into digital and vice versa. We've seen topics like sea flight existing now for a couple of years, and we see it with our product that it emerges more and more, and we see really a trending need towards the cross convergence between all kinds of video, and we see it not only in Germany or UK, we see it in France as well, or in Italy, and we see different market initiatives trying to approach them differently. We do think that there is a bright future for TV houses, honestly, because what happens now is that they all have gone into the transformation. And this is super positive, so they don't stand still and fear anymore. They have started their way. And we don't know yet what is the right way, and will there be one solution or will there be a bunch of solutions? But what's definitely good is that they all try to create their own future and believe in their own future and go forward with it. That's a very important first step, because without that you cannot do anything. You cannot build new technology, you cannot build new business models, stuff like that. On the other hand side, what we see is really a need in technology on making it happen, that you can go for convergent models and really help the old TV world to transform into a digital one. And it's not only our solution, there's others out there as well having the same idea in mind to make digital, to make traditional linear TV more digital-like or comparable to digital, but keeping the good things of TV, because there's a lot of things which is proven by research, by scientific research, and we should really, as an industry, we should try to conserve it, because there's a good reason for it, and there's good value in advertisement in it as well. And so we see a quite positive future, and what we see too, because now after 2 years of being in the transformation with some of our TV customers, we see that it really works out. The idea that you can not only keep your revenue, but partially, slowly get back some revenue which has gone to social video and stuff like that. It's coming back because your model has changed and makes it, I shouldn't say sexy, but something like that. So it's much more attractive because you don't have to spend 5 million for TV anymore. You can really, you can consume small portions of it in a very digital-like manner. So we really see that budgets are coming back to TV. And that lets us hope for a bright future for TV houses as well.